I'm joined here by my little friends, Blackie here and Daisy over here. You can just see her back. I won't wake her up. But a lot of you comment that you'd like to see them, so I just made sure that they were here on the Life LDC couch before I started. So I wanted to say again, Happy New Year. This is my first official knit update blog, but I did mention that I'm going to be doing shorter, more focused technique videos, so you'll probably be getting more than one video a month from me. So I just want to remind you that if you want to be notified, please hit the subscribe button and then the little notification bell beside it, and then you will be notified when I update a new blog. And I wanted to say a particular shout out to Cindy. Cindy was my very first person that I ever met when I was out and about. Since I've been doing my video blogging, and said, I know you were a V-blogger, a video blogger. And it was rather sort of cool and exciting, and a little bit intimidating to, I'll tell you, but you know, it's all part of the video blogging thing. So thank you very much, Cindy. We had a lovely chat last night, and probably I'm going to mention you a couple of more times during today's blog. So thanks again. So this is my January knit update, and I wanted to start off with what's on my needles. And last time I showed you my magnolia that was started. This is the Marie Wallen Fair Isle Club. It's knit in the round with steeks. The steeks have been cut. There's the front steek has been cut. The armhole steek has been cut. Then the sleeve is knit down flat. I'm just on the second armhole now. I just wanted to point out this is a great example of when you learn to do stranded knitting. Not every piece of stranded knitting is knit in the round. Rowan in particular are known for doing all their stranded work flat. What that does is it makes it easier for them to give you a defined size. Lots of in the round designs, they want to use complete repeats of the pattern, and if the pattern is big, that means that the sizing between sizes is a big jump. And so you know, sometimes it's easier to knit it in pieces or design it in pieces. Marie, being an ex-Rowan designer, her exposure has been to knit color work flat, but now she's getting into knitting it in the round. But you'll see that, yes, knitting it around and then flat pieces. And so it's really good to have both techniques in your repertoire. So make sure when you're practicing your Fair Isle that you practice flat, knitting back and forth, knitting and purling back. Because what you're trying to do is make sure that your tension when you're knitting flat is the same as when you're knitting in the round, because for a successful garment, that's what you want. So this reminds me that I did mention I'll be doing more specific technique focused videos, and I did a separate one on my steeking process, close-ups of cutting the steek, and then as a little bonus how I picked up my stitches for my arms, how I go through the material to pick up the stitches. So those kind of little videos, little technique specific videos will crop up as I progress through my current garment. As I mentioned, I'll be doing another kind of steek on my next project. It's going to be a crochet steek, but I have to finish this one first. My finished object this month, I actually have two to share with you. A little while back I mentioned I was knitting a garter stitch scarf using the new Rowan big wool colors from the autumn 2018-19 color range. And Rowan big wool has been around for a long time. It's a fabulous yarn for new knitters because it knits up fast. It's got a great color range, and you know, you just can't beat it. It's 100% merino wool, so it's soft, and you know, lots of design support out there for you. So I decided to knit, you know, one of these big everybody's wearing these big knits and they're just sort of color blocked. So that's what I did, and I used 4 of the new shades. And I'm just trying to think which ones did I use. I think I used Normandy, Mallard, Golden Olive, and the Aurora Pink. I don't have the scarf here with me. I gifted it, but I was very happy to get this little picture the other day from my friend showing her her daughter wearing the scarf. It's been really, really cold here, really windy, and she just bundles it up, and you'll see she's got one of those cool hats that let her hair stick out the top. You know, it's not wool, but we won't hold that against her. So here it is, and I really enjoyed knitting that very, very basic garter stitch scarf, just color blocked. My other finished object is this in the loop cowl. And this is a design by the Espace Tricot ladies. This is by Melissa Clulo, and it's a free pattern from Espace Tricot. You'll get it on Ravelry. I just love this when I saw it because it's done in the new this season, current winter season, Alpaca Classic yarn, Rowan Alpaca Classic. And I loved Melissa's, you know, very stylish sort of neutrals with a little pop of colorway. I wanted to incorporate this blue shade. Let me just pull up the shade card. This deep teal that's on the edge here, because that color I have enough, a sweater's quantity, as they say these days. I have enough to knit a cardigan out of it. So I thought it would be nice to make a cowl that I can wear in conjunction with the cardigan. So I decided to pick out colors. You need 7 balls for this, 2 of each of the main shades, which is for this small thin stripe side. And I used the Sierra Melange and Golden Girl. 2 stripes, 2 balls of each. And on the reverse side, there's my deep teal, copper clay, and green moss. And I picked all these colors from my my color shade card. I've got one of those old, you know, sample color things from when you went and had your shades done, and this is from back in the 80s. You had your shades done. You were either a spring, or a winter, or an autumn, or a summer, spring. I am an autumn, so all these shades are in my autumn shade card. Oh, that's pretty cool too. So anyway, I love knitting this. It's a lot of knitting, 7 balls. It's, you know, I would say that this is almost like the same amount of knitting as the body of a sweater. I did do one thing that the pattern, I did sort of deviate one thing. The pattern calls for provisional cast on and then grafting to put it together. Well, provisional cast on and me, we're not really good. So I just cast on and cast off and sewed them together. Hand sew. So that means one side is a little bit firmer, as you can see, not a lot of give, while the other side has a lot of give. And while I think this is the better side, this side really isn't. It's not bad. So what you do is you put it on and you make sure that the color that you want to show around your neck is facing out or to the top. So here you go. Put it on with the small stripes around you. Twist, and then fold it over, and there's my blue. I just love this. It goes great with my weekender jacket. This is done in the sadly discontinued Rowan Fine Art Aran, but I love this jacket. I wear it all the time. So there it is with the blue showing up, and we'll just do a quick change. I did not do anything to hide the jog. You see the jog there? I did not do anything to hide the jog. I don't mind because I use that as my back. So putting it on, the green is facing up. So I'll put it on, twist it. Folding it over, and there's the green coming up to the edge. I love this. I've been wearing it a lot, and I put it up and tuck it in and make sort of a little snoot thing out of it. When it's really cold and we're out walking, we don't stay out too much with the dogs because, to be honest, they don't like it when it's really cold. So, but I just love it. And now that I've knit it, I can't wait to get on with my Alpaca Classic cardigan, which is actually on the needles around here somewhere. Oh, speaking of around here somewhere, this Marie Kondo thing. Have you seen her series on Netflix? Well, I've been watching it all, and you know, to be honest, it makes me feel better because I really don't have an absolute house full of stuff, but I do have Anne's room of requirement, her stash room of requirement. So I'm sort of been opening drawers, and if I open a drawer and it needs Marie Kondoing, I do it. I've been getting rid of stuff that's been in drawers for ages. All my drawers, my underwear drawers, everything, they're all perfect. They're all organized. I'm using shoe boxes and shoe box lids, and as it all works out, if I get to the point where everything is being Marie Kondoed, I'll start covering all those shoe boxes and shoe box lids with really nice paper. You know, I'm not going to go out and buy the special Marie Kondo boxes. But anyway, that takes me down to the stash room of requirement. While I was down there looking around, I found this bag. And this, I don't know how long I've had it. This is from one of those UK trips that my hubby and I did, and I would always search out if there was something yarn related around. And this was before the days of GPS, and we had the map out, and I had an address, and we found this place, and we got there, and it was a farm shop, and there was a sign on the door. Sorry, we're closed today because we're at the Denby Center, where is it the Denby or the Danby? I think it's the Danby Center. I will look it up. It's sort of a center where the walkers go, and there's a tea room and there's an exhibition hall. Well, they were at this center. We go, and we always go there when we were visiting his folks and that. So we would go and have a cup of tea and a piece of cake. So we knew exactly where it was. So off we beetled around back there, and there we were. And they had all this hand spun. And so I promptly bought it, brought it home, and it's been in this bag. I take it out every once in a while. Hasn't been out, I must admit, for a while. But I was inspired not only by Marie Kondo, but last night I met a hand spinner, Cindy. Hi, Cindy. She was telling me about her hand spun, which got me thinking. So I went down this morning and dug out my hand spun. I think this has been in the stash room of requirement far too long. I need to do something with it this year. 2019 is the year. I think I bought pretty much everything that was left by the time we got there. And so as I said, it's been in a bag ever since. So I've got Wensleydale slub, 60 grams. More Wensleydale scrub, 84 grams. Slub, not scrub. Oh, this stuff is absolutely gorgeous. It is black Wensleydale, 94 grams. Pure natural hand spun Shetland, 62 grams. And the prices on these were ridiculously inexpensive, £6.20. This doesn't have a label on it, but I know it's from the same batch. It's hand spun Shetland, and it is probably Murret. Let me see if I can get it into a skein. Ah, there we go. I'll have to weigh that. More black Wensleydale. Another 92 grams. This one says it's handmade by Rosemary Kitchingman, Barton Le Street in Malton, North Yorkshire. £9.20. More black Wensleydale, 84 grams. Hand spun pure natural Shetland, 46 grams. And oh my gosh, I just love this. 64 grams of hand spun Jacob slub. So that's quite a group. So talking to Cindy, who is a hand spinner, and she was saying what she spun yarn for a long time, like I think 10 years, and that's why she learned how to knit. And I'm thinking, well, I'm a knitter, and I've got all this lovely, lovely hand spun. I should really do something with it. I think it's matured, it's ripe, it's ready to be knit. I know my first thing is I have to unwind it and find out what the yardage is, what yardage I have, and then I'll have to think of what to do with it. So if any of you guys have any brilliant ideas out there, let me know, but I will know by my next video exactly how much of this I have, and maybe together we can come up with something that will do this justice, that I can either knit or crochet. I could crochet with it, I suppose. So thank you, Cindy, for the inspiration of digging out from my stash room of requirement all my hand spun, because it deserves to be knit up. I think this year I'd like to investigate the yarn community here in Canada a little more, and when I saw that the Hand Knit Yarn Studio in Hamilton was having a trunk show and visit by Emily Fodden of Viola Yarns, I quickly hit the button and signed up for the trunk show event, and that was last night in Hamilton. So I wasn't really sure what to expect. I got there early. The shop closes at 6. It closed even earlier than that because of the event. It was a cold night, so I went across the street into the chocolate shop and sat and had a lovely cup of peppermint tea. And while I was sitting there, I noticed that there were people lining up at the Hand Knit Yarn Studio's door, and I thought, okay, I better get over there. I don't want to end up totally at the end of the line. Didn't want to be first, but didn't want to stand in the cold too long either. So anyway, I went over and joined the line, and that is where I met Cindy, who is a knitter in Hamilton, and it turns out she watches this blog. So hi, Cindy. It was great meeting you, and we had a lovely conversation, and you gave me some things to think about, including my little stash of hand knit yarn. So 6:30 came, and the doors opened, and we walked in, and the Hand Knit Studio is a very long, it's a narrow and long store. So there was a long table set up with the Viola yarns, and then when you carried on, Emily herself was sitting at the back, and she was signing books. You could get your book signed, which I did, and here it is here. Have you heard about this? Knits in Winter. Knits About Winter. It's About Winter. Emily Fodden, she was a hand dyer. She went over to the UK. She worked for John Arbon for a while, and then she's back now in Canada. Started up hand dyeing again, did these designs, photographed the book in the Canadian winter. She's actually here in Ontario. She's about an hour and 3/4 drive away from me. So like, this is a local Canadian, Ontario knit person that I should know about, and I actually didn't. It wasn't really on my radar until a friend of mine in the UK mentioned her, and that started the whole let's find Emily. So I thought Emily would be a good place to start with my education on Canadian yarn resources. So Hand Knit Yarn Studio, trunk show, it was great. Emily was there. There was a rack of all the garments from this book, and I went intending really just to look and not buy any yarn right at this moment, because I have this humongous stash room of requirement. And so I love this front design, the East Wind jacket. Now the East Wind jacket uses 2 yarns held together. I'm just going to find the page. It uses Viola Shadow DK, which is 50% Polworth, 35% Wensleydale, 15% is Warbles. It's 308 yards per 100 gram skein. That sounds lovely. And you use along with it the Viola mohair lace. Well, if you're reading Emily's blog, it turns out that she is a victim of her own success, because the book is doing so well, and why wouldn't it? She's got such a demand for her hand-dyed yarn, but the actual base, the acquisition of the base is turning out to be a little bit problematic. So the base for this shadow comes from Jaron Arvin, and there's another one of her yarns is actually from a mill here in Ontario. And both of those bases are hard to get for her. So fortunately, it's a catch-22. Her book's doing well. Everybody's crazy about her yarn. Any yarn that she dyes up is going to be snapped up. So you have to be mindful of that. So I thought to myself, and can you really miss the opportunity to acquire some of this beautiful yarn? And at the trunk show, there was the sock yarn and there was the Viola mohair. So what I decided to do was to get some Viola mohair. Absolutely adorable tag. Fabulous. Mohair lace, 72% mohair, 28% silk, 459 yards or 420 meters in a 50 gram skein. So I ended up getting 4 skeins of this absolutely to die for evergreen color. Is that not gorgeous? And it's sort of got a little bit of a blue tinge to it, because blue is my favorite color, but I used to wear green a lot. And so I'm thinking, this is gorgeous. And I also got 1 skein of the Moon Rock as an accent, because my thoughts on this are that I am going to knit the Frost tunic. Now, my only concern about this is it is mohair, knit single ply. I did see it last night in the flesh. It was absolutely gorgeous. I don't know. I'm really into cardigans these days. I love cardigans. You can take them on, take them off, put them on, because one minute I'm hot and the next minute I'm cold. So my first choice actually would have been the East Wind jacket, which is the cover jacket. But it's done in the Shadow DK, which of course is going to be like finding $1 million lying on the street. Probably it's going to be really hard to find. So one thing I'm contemplating doing is combining the mohair, the evergreen mohair, with a nice DK. And forgive me. And I thought about this color. It's one of my favorite colors of Rowan felted tweed. It's called Ancient. Now, don't those look great together? So I'm going to do a little swatch in that, because I do have enough of the mohair to accommodate the East Wind jacket, and I'm pretty sure I've got some of this downstairs, and if I don't have enough I'll get more, but Anyway, that's a thought. So I'm going to swatch for both of them and decide which one I am going to do. So that was a very interesting adventure into the world of a Canadian yarn dyer, and Emily's she's a very nice lady. We had a little chat about the fact that her bases they're going to be hard to get. But you know, when things are hard to get, it makes them just that little bit more precious to you when you finally do get them. So if you really want to knit one of Emily's designs in her yarns, you'll just have to hang on. But if not, you can easily substitute, because her mohair is gorgeous, but there are other mohairs, and combine it with the DK yarn and I'm sure you could substitute. The last thing I'd like to mention is the Sky Cowl and Yarn Pattern and Yarn giveaway. I'm going to do a random comment generator, and I will put a screenshot of the winner here. Please contact me via Ravelry at my Life Lackadaisical Ravelry account, and once we make contact there, I'll arrange to get your address and get your prize to you. You will have until February 15th to respond to this notification to claim your prize. If I haven't heard from you by February 15th, I will pull another name, okay? So thank you everybody for watching, subscribing, liking, and commenting on my videos. I really enjoy doing them for you, and I look forward to a very interesting 2019. So make sure you subscribe, number one. Hit the little notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. And also, if you enjoy what you're seeing, hit the like button, because the like button encourages YouTube to share my video, to propose my video to other people who are watching knit blogs. And it would be nice. I always love to see new subscribers. And in the last month, it says I've got 38 new subscribers. A lot of those subscribers don't show up because they have their settings set that you can't see who they've subscribed to. But YouTube tells me that I have 38 new subscribers in January. So I'm thrilled. Okay, so thank you very much, everyone, and happy knitting.